Yo, check it. This is Duelist of Awesome. Warning before we start. This video may contain a real cool dude. That's right, it's me. Now, I might sound like a croaking frog in this video. That's because it was 3 a.m. and I was really tired, but the love of Cyber Dragons, the love of the game, it just held me to it. Now, warning, if you, at all, go blind during my video, not my problem. Legal obligation, you keep watching this video, not my problem. All right, the lens, basically the solar flare that comes with the LED light I'm using, reflecting off my super shiny and delectable cards, might burn your retinas. I'm so sorry. I hope you like the deck profile anyways. With that being said, guys, it's time to watch the video. Yo, check it. This is Duelist of Awesome coming at you guys with another Cyber Dragon deck profile. Got some new sleeves on. We're looking fresh. It's gonna be a good one. If you guys are ready, let's get into this. All right, to kick things off, we've got your 10 Cyber Monsters, which starts with the lifeblood of the deck, Cyber Dragon. It's the name of the game. With this card being a light level 5 machine type monster, it has insane synergy with a lot of cards in this deck. Obviously, it's in archetype, but Galaxy Soldier is a very good out of archetype card that goes well with this Cyber Dragon to make a light level 5 Cyber Dragon Nova and go into infinity, which is something that you want to see on your inboard. Next up is your Searcher and the best normal summon in the deck. That is 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. As his name suggests, he is the core of the deck. He searches a cyber spell or trap on summon. This can be negated, of course. Another effect of this card is that when he's in the graveyard and you've got nothing on your field, you can banish him and special summon a Cyber Dragon from the deck or the graveyard. So this card has the ability to bring you back from devastating near game losses. That's why Cyber Dragon Core must be played at 3. Not only does he search, but he can turn the game around in a pickle. For the last of the Cyber Dragons in the deck, you play 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Hertz and 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Naxter. Now, these cards are both very good. Since I got a bad glare, I'll go ahead and give you guys a look at Naxter here. There he is. So with Cyber Dragon Hertz, he can be dumped in combo with your Galaxy Soldier, and he searches. So when he hits the graveyard, he searches a Cyber Dragon from the graveyard or the deck, which means he can summon the vanilla Cyber Dragon right there, or any monster that has the name Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, and add it to your hand. So he's a good combo extender, gets you more resources. And then Naxter's very good because on summon, it can special summon, by the way, by a discard of a monster, but on normal or special summon, Naxter will summon a machine type monster from the graveyard with 2100 attack or defense as a stat. And since 2100 is a number that shows up a lot in this archetype, you can bring back a lot of good cards. So that's why I play this ratio. They can both be searched pretty easily. And really, you don't really want to draw into the Naxter because that graveyard synergy is what it's good for. And since you can summon him by search almost any point in the duel, 1 of is fine. And your 10th Cyber Monster is Cyber Dark Chimera. Cyber Dark Chimera can be searched with Cyber Dark Realm, and Cyber Dark Realm can be searched with Core, which means 3 Core is essentially a copy of this, which is why you only play 1. Cyber Dark Chimera can send a spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard and search Power Bond. Having a Power Bond searcher in this deck means that we are obviously going to be playing Power Bond, and Power Bond is the win condition for a lot of our duels here. Our next monster is one of the newer cards in the Cyber Dragon family. Disablaster, the Negation Fortress. We play 3 of this card. This card negates any effect in the column it is summoned. It can also special summon itself to any empty column. Now, keep in mind, this card negates every card in its column, which means if you play a spell card under your Disablaster, it will negate it. There is no redo on that. You will get negated, so be careful where you place this. Your field zones become vitally important when playing Disablaster. Now, this card is also a machine duplication target. Any machine-type monster with 500 or less attack, which would be your core, your Hertz, your Naxter, and your Disablaster, can be mass summoned, up to 2 copies extra, with machine duplication. For the others, it would summon regular Cyber Dragon because their names are Cyber Dragon, but for Disablaster, you summon the other 2, or 1 if you've only got 1 in the deck. You get to special summon these guys in any zone you want to off the effect of machine duplication, meaning that they don't have to go into a empty column. That being said, when you can choose to negate. So Disablaster, machine duplication is a great way to lock down your opponent's board, and that is why I play 3 of this card. Next up is 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier is a light level 5 machine-type monster, which means its synergy with Cyber Dragon gets you free Xyz plays into Nova and Infinity. Those cards are some of the best Xyz monsters not only in the deck, but in the game. Galaxy Soldier plus Cyber Dragon Hertz is a free combo into Infinity, given that you are not interrupted, which you typically aren't. That combo gives you a free negate and is summoned in only 4 monsters, meaning you play through Nibiru. If you want to learn how to play that combo, check out this video right here in this little corner. Next up, we have 3 one-of supports for the deck. This being Jizukiru, the Star-Destroying Kaiju, Karnot, the Eternal Machine, and Therion King Regulus. Now, Jizukiru is a kaiju. If you don't know how kaijus work, kaijus tribute a monster on your opponent's field, and they summon to your opponent's field. Now, Jizukiru has a lot of attack points. However, Cyber Dragons swallow machines. He is a machine, which means him being on your opponent's board is not a threat at all, or almost ever. You can get rid of insanely powerful monsters, like Dragoon, for example, for free with Jizukiru. Karnot, the Eternal Machine, is also very good because it gets to summon for free, essentially. If in the duel your opponent had activated an effect from the hand, be it Tactics or Ash Blossom of Joy Spring or any hand trap of that sort, Karnot gets a special summon for free for the rest of the duel. When this card is sent to the graveyard, he shuffles back into the deck. However, there are some instances where he can summon instead of shuffling back. With 3,000 attack, he's very good. He also gains 1,000 attack during the damage step. So he's very good. He can get beefy quick if he's not dealt with. He's got a lot of attack. He's a very good monster. Him being a light machine means he obviously works very well with the deck as well. Now, for Therion King Regulus, this card is very good because it is a negate, essentially. This card takes a machine-type monster from the graveyard and equips it to itself. So he will special summon from your hand into the monster zone. For instance, we'll put him right here. Say this upper half is a monster zone. Takes a monster from the graveyard. Let's say it was Karnot. Now, he can destroy himself, pop a Therion monster, and negate an effect. So he is a big body, free summon, and a negate. It's a very, very good card to have in this deck. But it is an earth monster, and it is not an archetype, so playing it at 1 is absolutely fine. And the very last for our monsters is 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is the best hand trap in the game. She negates searching, sending, and summoning from the deck. It's very good. Play her at 3 in almost all my decks. There are some that don't. This card is very good. and will shut down your opponent if played correctly. For the non-Cyber Dragon players, a little tip. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is best used against Cyber Dragon to stop Cyber Dragon Core. Cyber Dragon Core is the best searcher, and your first option to Ash. If you do not see a core, Ash this instead. But a good Cyber Dragon player will play Emergency first, and then core, to make sure that they get the best of both worlds and bait out any hand traps, so keep that in mind. Speaking of that spell card you just saw on the screen, 3 copies of Cyber Emergency is the way to go. This searches a Cyber Dragon monster, or a light machine monster that cannot be normal summoned or set from the deck. This card is really good. You gotta play it at 3. It searches almost everything in the deck. It's a very good searcher. Also keep in mind, this card can be searched off of core. So if you need to search your searcher will search your searcher. That's a tongue twister, but you essentially get what I'm saying. Core searches emergency, emergency searches core. They're a perfect duo. So always play 3 of both of these cards. Alrighty, for the one-ofs, I play 1 Cyber Repair Plant, 1 Cyber Rev System, and 1 Cyber Dark Realm. Now, Cyber Repair Plant is a searcher that can search based off of how many Cyber Dragons you have in the graveyard, be it 1 or 3. If it's 1, you can activate one of its effects. If it's 3, you can activate both. These effects are add 1 light machine monster from your deck to your hand, or target 1 light machine monster in your graveyard and shuffle that into the deck. Repair Plane is good because it is a searcher and actually searches some of the cards that Emergency cannot. So it's a very good card to have. It is also searchable, as it has Cyber in the name. So if you need this card in particular to search something specific, Core will search this for you. Now, some Cyber Dragons don't like to play, or Cyber Dragon players do not like to play Rev System. Some would say it's a controversial take. I like this card. It can special summon from the hand or the graveyard, and it cannot be destroyed by effects that card that is summoned. 1 Cyber Dragon, of course. This searches and summons, this summons a lot of options from your deck because, well, a lot of your monsters have the effect that their name is simply just Cyber Dragon. This can put an extra piece on the board if you're missing it, or if push comes to shove and you have Rev System and nothing else on your field, you can bring a monster back. This is just a combo extender and an in-archetype searchable monster reborn. I don't see why anybody wouldn't play this. And lastly, Cyber Dark Realm. Cyber Dark Realm can be searched, so playing 1 is fine. This card is made to search your Cyber Dark Chimera, which searches your Power Bond. Power Bond being the fusion spell that will bring your most powerful monsters out and win you the games. So 1 Cyber Dark Realm is the staple, along with these other 2 one-ofs. This is technically optional, but in my choice, I like to have it. Keep in mind that every spell card I just showed you so far can be searched from core. The last one that can is Cyberload Fusion. It is one of your 3 different types of fusion cards. This one is a quick play and good for a summon during the battle phase. Overload Fusion will fusion summon by banishing materials from your field and your graveyard, which is very good because you have a lot of resources in the graveyard a lot of the time. And the last 2 is Power Bond. 2 copies of Power Bond. This fusion summons a fusion monster using the correct materials, of course, and doubles that monster's attack. Now you will take damage in the end phase equal to the original attack of that monster. So if you summon a Cyber End Dragon, he will hit the field with 8,000 attack, but at the end of the turn, you're taking 4,000 as per his original attack. There is a risk to playing this card, but if you know how to play it right, you will be fine, and you will win. This next card is a must-have. 3 copies of Clockwork Knight. So Clockwork Knight is very interesting because it turns your opponent's monsters, all of them, into machines. Cyber Dragons can contact fuse using machines on either field, specifically via the effect of Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. This lowers the attack of all monsters on your opponent's field by 500 and increases yours by 500. Turning your opponent's monsters into machines shuts a lot of decks out of their strategies and gives you free resources to win the game. Clockwork Knight is an immediate 3F. We also played 2 copies of Machine Duplication. Machine Duplication has so many targets in this deck, not playing it would be an outrage. You have 4 different targets. One of them summons Disablaster, and the others summon Cyber Dragon. Getting 2 Cyber Dragons out for free is a free Nova and a free Infinity. So Machine Duplication is a must-have card. I don't see anyone playing it lower than 2. I think Machine Duplication at 2 is the correct number. Used to play it at 3. I don't believe you need more than 2. Next up is Duality. Duality is a 1-of in this deck, and Duality's effect lets you take one monster with the same level and an opposite attribute and summon it. So if I have a light Cyber Dragon that's level 5, I can summon a level 5 dark fusion monster. Like our win condition, Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. This is a free summon of a fusion monster without it being considered a fusion summon. This card is only at 1 because there are some downsides to not fusion summoning Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. However, getting him out in a pinch can be necessary in some situations. So Duality to 1 is the correct number. For a better look at the card, here you go. There is Duality. Next up is a card that I used to play when I was a child in this deck, and did for a long time, until we got more support and I lost room for it in the deck. Limiter Removal. I now play this because it has Cyber End Dragon on the cover, on the artwork. That's our boy Cyber End Dragon. You're not playing Limiter Removal when it's got Cyber End Dragon on the field. You know what I'm saying? When it's got it on the artwork, you just have to play it. Limiter Removal does what Power Bond does, with a little bit of a catch. It doubles the attack of all machine-type monsters on your field, but they're all destroyed in the end phase. So that's the risk with playing Limiter Removal. However, hear me out for a second. Cyber End Dragon, summoned by the effect of Power Bond, has 8,000. You then drop your Limiter Removal, he has 16,000. And he does piercing damage, by the way. No defense will protect your opponent from a doubled attack Cyber End Dragon. And that is why, my friends, we play 1 Limiter Removal. Has to be this artwork. If you don't have this artwork, find yourself one. Another card that I play is Lightning Storm. This card is a board wipe if you got nothing on your field, and you start every match that you win the die roll with going second with nothing on your field. Lightning Storm is very good in this retrospect. Lightning Storm is very good for this reason. You can destroy all spells and traps, or all monsters, as long as there's nothing on your field. So you would activate this first to start your turn. There is also an alternate art with Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon on it. I do not have that yet, but you better believe when I get that card, there will be another deck profile. So Lightning Storm is just a good 1-of in this deck. I don't really see the need to play more than 1. Next up is Triple Tactics Talents. This card is 3 forbidden cards in 1 legal card. So if your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn, during your main phase, you can activate one of these 3 effects. By the way, that monster effect would be a hand trap. Your opponent will almost always have an Ash Blossom. So Triple Tactics Talents become live when they activate a monster effect from their hand. You can draw 2 cards. That's Pot of Greed. You can take control of 1 monster until the end phase. That is Change of Heart. Or you can look at your opponent's hand and choose 1 card from it and shuffle it into the deck. I don't know what that one is. I forgot. But these are all very good options. Most people will go for that draw too. But this card has 3 different uses for very situational moments. Triple Tactics Talents at 1 is probably the best you're going to play it. And if you don't want your opponent's Ash Blossoms, Ghost Bells, Effect Veilers, or Nibiru, maybe. Anyway, the hand traps. If you don't want your opponent's hand traps to work, called by the grave will banish them quick effect. As a quick effect from the graveyard, which stops their effects. It's actually a very good card. Called by the grave at 1. It's perfect. Perfect for the deck. Stops hand traps. You don't need to play more than 1. And for the last cards of the deck, it's 3 hand traps and then 1 trap. Those being 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This card is a negate from the hand if you've got nothing on the field, and a negate plus whatever spell or trap is in its column on your opponent's field if it was set like a regular trap. It's a good one. No need to explain. This and Ash Blossom are my favorite hand traps. And lastly, Cybernetic Overflow, which is could be a board wipe. It banishes one card on your opponent's field for every Cyber Dragon in your graveyard with a different level. So we got level 5 Cyber Dragons, level 2 Cores, level 1 Hurts, and that's about 3. And while that may not seem like a lot, banishing 3 cards from your opponent can be very good. And next up is our extra deck. Starting with the Link monsters, Cyber Dragon Seeger. This is the only extra deck monster that has the effect that its name is Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon Seeger doubles the attack of a monster with 2100 or more attack. It is not. That is incorrect. It gives them 2100 attack, which would be double for a Cyber Dragon, an Infinity, a Nova, or a Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, but 2100 attack will be added to a monster with 2100 or more attack. This card cannot deal damage if it activates this effect. So keep that in mind. But boosting a regular Cyber Dragon for 200 is no feat to scoff at. This card can essentially do what Power Bond and Limiter Removal do. So a Seeger Power Bond and the Limiter Removal on a Cyber End Dragon puts it roughly at 18,000 something. Something close to 20,000. Absolutely ridiculous. But the new addition to our deck is Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight here, take a look at it. Very shiny, very nice. Clockwork Knight searches Clockwork Knight, the spell card. Clockwork Knight takes a normal summon machine type monster that has 1,000 or less original attack, which would be your Core, your Naxter, or your Hertz, and links Link 1 into this and searches your Clockwork Knight. So this card is very good. Get your Clockwork Knight on the field, turns your opponent's monsters into machines, livens up your likelihood to win. The last for your Link monsters, SP Little Knight. This card is very nice. It's just an Omni Negate, easy to bring out, and it has a banish effect. You really just can't beat SP Little Knight. She comes up in a pinch, but Cyber Dragons are so good at handling themselves, you almost never need to bring her out. But if you like the meta, which you do if you're playing this variant, because it is, well, it's made to compete, SP Little Knight is a card you're familiar with and will probably enjoy playing. But enough of that. We're on to the Xyz monsters, and oh boy, we got some good ones. For our Xyz monsters, we play 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova and a singular copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity. Since I got a crazy glare, we're going to get a look at this card. You gotta love him. He's Infinity. So, Cyber Dragon Nova can be made with 2 level 5 light machine type monsters. That is your Cyber Dragon, your Galaxy Soldier, and your Disablaster, the Negation Fortress. Or if you have 1 Cyber Dragon card or a Disablaster with the Negation Fortress and a machine duplication, that's Nova. Nova, Xyz summoned Infinity on top of him. Nova has a banish to double attack effect. No need for that, because Infinity is just better. Infinity can swallow your opponent's monsters as material and is an Omni Negate once per turn. Cyber Dragon Infinity is a very tough opponent. He also gains attack for every material he has. So Infinity only gets better the more material it's got. We got a couple powerhouse cards here. Our Divine Arsenal, AA Zeus Sky Thunder, and our Chaos Angel. Sky Thunder has a board wipe effect and can be made for free on top of Nova or Infinity so long as they attacked in main phase 2. So they attack in battle phase. He can be summoned in main phase too. On top of them, use them as material. He can wipe boards. Chaos Angel has extreme protection effects, can also banish a card, and he has different effects based on if he's summoned using light or dark, and you can use to summon him both. He also doesn't need to be synchro summoned with a tuner, he just needs monsters whose levels equal up to 10. Since we play level 5 monsters very commonly, 2 Cyber Dragons would make this. A Cyber Dragon and a Galaxy Soldier would make this. Cyber Dragon is something else that's level 5. You get the picture. Chaos Angel is easy to make and a very hard threat to deal with 3,500 attack as the body. Next up is our fusion monsters, and our fusion monsters are the lifeblood of Cyber Dragons as they've been fusion summoning since the GX era. But our newest one is Hiosvarog, the Mechanical Dawn. This card, when it's fusion summoned, recurs the fusion card used to fusion summon it. So you bring him out essentially for free because you get your fusion card back. However, he also has a negation effect, which is quick effect. You can banish a monster, 2 light machine type monsters from the graveyard, or 1 on the field, and negate an effect. Hiosvarog the Mechanical Dawn is very good in this retrospect, and it only needing 2 light machine monsters means it is extremely easy to bring out with any of your fusion spells. Next up is the fusion monster that is going to win you 99% of your games, Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. This card has an effect that it can destroy spell and trap cards on your opponent's field. Well, either field really, but you're going to use it on your opponent. Up to the amount of fusion materials used for its summon, which is 2+ Cyber Dragon monsters. You can use as many as you want to summon it. This card can also send up to 2 light machine monsters from your deck to the graveyard and gains an extra attack for each, which means at max, this card can attack 3 times. If this card is summoned using Power Bond, that means it'll have 4,200. 42, 42, 42 is well over your opponent's life points. This card can almost always attack over your opponent's monsters and deal the damage necessary to end the game. If it doesn't, that's okay, you'll just win next turn. It is Cyber Dragon after all. Next up is your cards that contact fuse. That would be Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon and Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Mega Fleet Dragon takes a Cyber Dragon and the monsters in the extra monster zone to summon for free. No fusion card required. You just put them in the graveyard and here comes your monster. This card gains 1,200 attack for each material used. This card gains 1,000 attack for each material used. However, this one has more capability than this one, because this one takes 1 Cyber Dragon and any amount of machine monsters on the field. If you use your Clockwork Knight spell card and every monster on your opponent's field is a machine monster, and you've got a Cyber Dragon, you can sacrifice your opponent's entire field, every one of their monsters, and one of your Cyber Dragons, and bring out a Fortress Dragon with a big chunk of attack. So Fortress Dragon is a 2-of in this deck for sure. Its synergy with Clockwork Knight is what brings Cyber Dragon to such a high level in competitions these days. You can't beat Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, and I still play the Mega Fleet at 1 because it freely gets over monsters in the extra monster zone, almost like a Kaiju. Contact fusing is very good in that retrospect. And the very last card in the extra deck is the Cyber End Dragon, the OG fusion monster for Cyber Dragon, Zane Truesdale's boss monster. Cyber End Dragon has 4,000 attack and does piercing damage, and that's all it does. But that's all it needs to do, because this card is made for a flashy finish. Or if your opponent foolishly plays defense with weak monsters, Cyber End Dragon will punish that. End Dragon with a Seeger, End Dragon with a limit removal, or End Dragon summoned with Power Bond is a sure way to scare the living hell out of your opponent, and is a great way for a flashy finish if you know that nothing can stop him. Alright, my fellow Cyber Dragon enthusiasts, that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys are looking for any tips and tricks, remember the video that I put in the card in the middle of the video, I'll put again right here at the end screen. If there are any recommendations, suggestions, or just comments you want to put down, comment section is there. I'm learning still. I'm not a Yu-Gi tuber. I'm a guy who makes Yu-Gi-Oh videos. We'll get there one day. Until then, keep the support coming. Cyber Dragons forever. We're going to get this deck looking real nice for my final video. Until then, guys, this has been Duels of Awesome. I bid you guys farewell. Peace, peace. Chicken grease. Twisms.